Hi guys, today we're going to talk about orthography and punctuation. The first thing is spelling, and Spanish has high sound spelling correspondence, so obviously the spelling of English doesn't come easily, and it's common to reduce double letters to single ones. For example, the problem of spelling is exacerbated because learners don't distinguish English phonemic contrast and they can't exploit those sound spelling regularities that do exist. For example, this and this. We use this for singular and this for plural, but English learners usually confuse these two words and they can't understand or find the difference in between words. Contractions. Spanish doesn't have contracted verb forms, and learners find them a problem. In English, they find difficulty in picking up, for example, will and would. Learners usually don't hear the difference between would and will when we use a contraction. And in Spanish, we don't have contraction, and this can be a problem for them. The main benefits of using contraction in English are simplifying the English language, express your ideas in social networks, despite the maximum number of characters allowed, and understand conversation in more informal or everyday context. Action in English is a short version of two words, and we can understand them as if they were two words abbreviated into one. To join these two words, the symbol um, apostrophe with each call apostrophe, as I said, used in contractions. And in this way, you can also identify contraction in English within a greeting sentence. For example, can not. We use an apostrophe to abbreviate two words can't. Would not wouldn't. For the contractions, we always use apostrophe to join these two words. Spanish doesn't use contractions, but Spanish speakers create contractions that are grammatically wrong. For example, if I want to say para la izquierda, we use if you can see here, we don't use apostrophe. We only use shortened words. In Now we're going to see punctuation. In Spanish, commas are often used where English will prefer semicolons, and semicolons where English will prefer full stops. For example, in Spanish, we use double question mark. For example, where is your sister? As I said, In Spanish, we use double question mark. In English, we only use the question mark at the end of the question. Beginners may carry over the Spanish use of an inverted question or exclamation mark at the beginning of a sentence. And for example, in exclamation, in Spanish we use double exclamation mark. So it was horrible. But in English, we only use exclamation mark at the end of the sentence. Spanish doesn't use inverted commas in reported speech, but sometimes we use long script. For example, but sometimes there is no punctuation to indicate direct speech. Spanish uses a comma to separate decimals and stop to separate thousand. For example, 2000, 2.31, typically pronounced following the Spanish pattern as 2.31. Capital letter. In Spanish, doesn't use capital letters for days of the week, months, or national adjectives. For example, we only use capital letters in English to talk about weeks, months, or national adjectives. For example,